Valid forms of identification. Access restricted at retail marijuana store. A. A person under the age of 21 may not enter a retail marijuana store. B. Each entry to a retail marijuana store must be posted with a sign that says no one under 21 years of age allowed. The sign must not be less than 12 inches long and 12 inches wide, with letters at least 1/2 inch in height. C. An area of a retail marijuana store's licensed premises where marijuana of any marijuana product is stocked for sale or dispensed for sale is a restricted access area. The retail marijuana store must post signs that require identification and escort visitors.
Regulation of the marijuana industry. Identification requirements to prevent sales to persons under the age of 21. A licensed retail marijuana store shall refuse to sell marijuana or marijuana product to any person who does not produce a form of valid photo identification. So a valid ID must have a photo showing that the person is 21 years of age or older. B, a valid form of identification includes the following. 1, an unexpired, unaltered passport. 2, an unexpired, unaltered driver's license, instruction permit, or identification card of any state or territory of the United States, District of Columbia, or Canada. 3, an identification card issued by a federal or state authorized agency. And here we have some examples of valid identification. We have a Massachusetts driver's license, a commercial driver's license, and a Massachusetts ID card and liquor card, the top 4. And then below we have a junior operator identification, under 21 driver's license, under 21 Mass ID card, and an under 21 commercial driver's license. And what you notice is that the orientation of the cards. Over 21, the cards are horizontal, and under 21, the cards are vertical.
Security features. Second barcode on the reverse side that contains demographic information from the front. Raised lettering of cardholder's initials and birth year. Laser perforation and engraving. Ultraviolet UV ink only visible under ultraviolet light. A kinogram, foil-based optical security image. Laser write, cardholder's initials and year of birth appear within the kinogram. This feature can also be viewed when backlit using a flashlight. Multiple data placements. The individual applicant's data is placed at various locations on the front and back of each document.
And here we have an example of a real ID versus a standard ID. The real ID was supposed to come about in October 2020, and that has been pushed back to 2023, and that date has already passed. And it seems like they aren't officially out yet as far as being mandatory. But what is going to be entailed when it does occur are real ID, driver's license, Massachusetts driver's license ID, and a standard Massachusetts driver's license ID. The main difference is going to be in the upper right-hand corner. You'll see a gold star, and also what you can and cannot do if you don't have one. You cannot be used to board a plane in the US or enter federal buildings, or it's going to be an unacceptable form of identification for federal purposes when they do come about. And when they do, we'll go into more information then. And we have an example of a medical marijuana ID. And below that, we have the Common Access Card, the CAC, or the Military Federal Identification Card. You'll notice that the orientation on the Military Federal ID is vertical. But again, you can be under 21 in the military and have one of these. So you must be scrutinous if you happen to run across one of these with a patient or client. Make sure they're in there for the proper purposes.
Without giving the person the ID, ask them some questions. Examples: what is your address? What is the zip code? Spell your middle name. What is their date of birth? Ask their age. Ask when they graduated from high school. An important thing to remember is that minors come in all shapes and sizes. Think about it. You cannot tell by a person's face, clothes, or behavior alone how old the person may be. Marijuana handlers' key points. A person under the age of 21 may not purchase marijuana products. A person under the age of 21 may not enter a retail marijuana store. Only if they're under 21, they can enter a medical marijuana store. Valid identification ID must be presented. Valid ID includes the following: unexpired, unaltered passport, unexpired, unaltered driver's license, instruction permit or identification card of any state or territory of the United States, the District of Columbia, or province of Canada, an identification card issued by a federal or state agency authorized to issue driver's license or identification card. Remember, don't sell unless you're sure.